Welcome back to another video. Today, guys, we're going to be going back into reselling and talking a bit more about that and things that I've learned along the way, which have helped me scale my business and essentially help you guys as well if that's what you're looking to do. I'm going to be going through 3 different things that I've learned along the way, some really big factors that I had to take into account when scaling, and other things that I've just learned that have really helped me scale Clothing View quicker than maybe if I didn't change these things or think about these things. So we're launching something very soon, so within the next week or two, it's going to be a community on School. Yeah, it's going to be the first vintage reselling community there is, which is why we're so excited to start it. And if you are interested, then DM us Resell on my Instagram. I'll put them in the description, but also be on screen here. You can message me on either of those and then we'll get back to you ASAP. Yeah, we'd love to have you in the community, whether you're starting out or you're looking to get into reselling or you're wanting to scale up and take it to that next level. We're not restricting it. There's going to be things for beginners, intermediate, and those are taking their reselling company very seriously, who want to take it to that 6-figure level. Just some of the information I can give you now. I'm just going to have a look on my laptop quickly. It's going to be a community full of like-minded resellers, which is already great to have so many other people in the community. But again, it's not going to be so many. There's going to be 100 people in there. That's what we're capping it at to start with. So the value that we're able to provide is our best. It is going to be to the best of our ability. So we're not overstretching ourselves or we're making it unfair. We're making it as fair as possible. We're giving out as much value as we possibly can, guys. There can be live Q&A calls. We're going to have networking sessions. We're going to have some multi-million-pound business owners coming in to talk on Tuesdays, so Takeover Tuesdays, where we're going to have Q&A sessions. You can ask them anything. You can ask me anything. But yeah, we're going to have some really big business owners coming in all different. It could be finance. It could be marketing. It could be negotiation, content creation, influencers, and just business owners in general. So it's not going to be just me, but other people as well. The knowledge you're going to benefit from is just insane. So School is a fast-growing community website. So there's gonna be like a network session, problems faced section, sales section, wholesaler section, mindset section, announcement section. So you can go to any one of these sections. There'll be a different chat, different resources, different courses you can do within it, like mini courses, not like, oh, we're selling you a 4X course, not like that, but like mini little courses you can do and stuff like that, along with obviously chats with me and other people in the community. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really exciting. There'll be like Wednesday wins, where everyone shares their wins for the week and things that have gone on in their company. Along with that, we will have accountability calls as well, regular, I can't even say that word, I'm not gonna try it, but on a regular basis, where you can just simply call one of my team members and just have an accountability session with them, see where you're at, where you wanna be, your goals, your aspirations, everything like that. So just one more thing as well, there will be reward incentives as well. So every month there'll be like rewards and giveaways and stuff like that. So the most active members, just giveaway competitions, stuff like that, will give you the opportunity to win cash, stock prizes, discount codes. Along with that, obviously you will get the standard discount code anyway for my wholesalers and stuff like that. Anyway, enough of that, let's get into the video. Just to start it off, and it's just listing. Where should you list your items? How many platforms should you list your items on, etc. And where is the best platform? So yeah, originally I just went straight onto Depop and eBay. I mean, I was 60 when I started selling, so eBay booted me off straight away because obviously you needed PayPal when you started eBay, whereas now they obviously don't do PayPal anymore. So I had no option than to just sell on eBay and Depop, and obviously eBay banned me, so I was just on Depop, and that's how I started, was Depop. One thing I learned on the way is just to list on multiple platforms. Don't have everything on one platform, because if that one platform goes down or algorithm changes, that's what I learned with Depop, is their algorithm and their updates just constantly adjust the app massively. It really does affect your listings. I've learned a lot with Depop, and again, some of the things I was gonna share in this video, but we'll leave it for the community, because obviously I've got a lot to share in that community. There's only so much I can share in a 10-minute YouTube video. Yeah, because 1 week Depop you make loads of sales, the next week could be really low, and that's not anything to do with you, or it doesn't change that quickly. It was just down to the updates and the app changes. Or one thing I did learn is listing is you've got to list at certain times, or you've got to be constantly listing in order for your entire shop to be bumped up. So on days where I list the most items, or the weeks that I list the most, I'm going to sell more. It's really strange. So yeah, that's why I think it's just good to sell on as many platforms as possible. If you can, it's just focus on listing. So I've just had a sneezing fit if it looks like I'm high or something. Bless me. Especially with Vinted as well, there's 0 fees, is very competitive. So if that's something you want to do, then definitely list on Vinted. But don't close yourself off. Don't channel yourself onto one platform, because your stock and your shop may be suited to another platform anyway. You might prefer Depop, but your stock might be more suited for Vinted or eBay. And again, I'll dive more into that in the community, is what items and what products sell better on what platforms. again, that'll save you time. Is if you've got loads of Ralph Lauren, but then loads of high street brands, it's like, well, instead of wasting time listing it all on Vinted and all on eBay, it's maybe, okay, let's do the Ralph Lauren on eBay and then maybe sell the high street brands on Vinted. It saves you a lot of time listing on all the platforms. But now obviously Depop with their zero fees makes everything even more competitive and everything almost level playing field, because obviously before you had Depop up here with their like 12.9% listing fees, Vinted down here with 0, eBay in the middle, but then if you want to boost your listing, you can go over there, and then Depop started doing boosting fees. So next thing you know, paying like 19% fees on Depop. So again, something to consider. So I mean, I've got a few tips and tricks again with Depop. I think in terms of listing, again, like I said, it's just list on as many platforms as possible. Even if you outsource and get someone to list on another platform for you, it is easy. Like everyone's selling on Vinted at the moment. I'm employing someone to list for me now while I focus more on this side of things and content side of things. And it just takes a bit of weight off my shoulder again. Point number 2, I actually came up with it myself when I was filming a TikTok about a week or 2 ago, is prioritize profit, not pleasure. It's compare profit and pleasure. I'm not saying prioritize profit over pleasure, but to some extent is if you want to take it seriously, if you're doing it as a hobby, then great, prioritize pleasure, and obviously your profit will come with it. But if you want to take it seriously, you're going to have to make that sacrifice of pleasure in order to make profit. I've learned to just stop selling the things that I really want to sell that look nice, or the things that I want to wear. Like, I work closely with one of my suppliers for content creation, and I do a lot of bail unboxings. And like, I opened some of the stock, like the Carhartt shorts, the branded shorts, the Nike joggers, and all these different categories. And I'm like, oh, these Carhartt, even like Tommy Hilfiger chinos I opened the other day. I was like, oh my days, I love to wear these. I want to keep so many, but it's like, I've got to forget that and think what's going to maximize profit, what's going to create the quickest turnover time, what am I going to be able to get in, list, and sell the quickest, even down to washing things. Like, I stay away from jeans and dungarees and stuff now because it just costs so much to wash and dry. That's not prioritizing pleasure necessarily, that's just prioritizing profit, full stop, and prioritizing my sell price to my cost price. Because if I'm spending too much on stock and then wanting to wash it, list it, get a nice fancy backdrop, it's just make do with what you've got. And at the same time is, don't forget that you're doing this to make money. That's not a selfish thing at all. It's because with my first 2 years, it was only maybe 8 to 12 months ago that I actually started to make profit from this, because I was just spending too much money on other things. My cost prices were too high. I was paying to wash and dry these at like big laundries, dry cleaners and stuff like that. And then I was re-washing things to get stains out. I was getting all the really, really fancy premium stock in. And it's just like, it was great to sell, it was fun to take photos of, but it wasn't making me any money, or my cost price was too high, or my overheads were too high. So whereas now I'm selling things that are making me profit, but 80, 90, 100, 200K a year, but that's irrelevant if your profit margins are zilch, nothing, which it was for me. Is I was getting too carried away with the revenue, not realizing, okay, I'm not actually making profit, and I had to seriously review my whole business model, the stock that I was buying, the stock that I was selling, the platforms I was selling on. And even for North Face puffers, like the first year I made so much money on them, and then the second year I bought them and they just didn't sell very well. So I gave them a third go this year, and I was like, what a waste of time. In the end, I just wholesaled them off for what I paid, or a little bit over what I paid, because I enjoy selling them and they sold previously well before, is I invested a lot of money in those this year and they just didn't sell. But I had to put my profit first. As, okay, right, I spent £2,000-3,000 on these North Face puffers, they're selling really slow, let me just get what I can for, well, not get what I can for them, but get my money back, and then put that money elsewhere into something that's going to make me money. If you don't want all your money in a product or in inventory or something that's going to take a long time to sell, when you can put that into something else, another item or category, and your money and your turnover time and your profits far larger. It's like, what would you rather? Something that's going to look nice on your store, or something that you enjoy selling, but then you're going to make a couple of quid at the end of it, or something that, okay, maybe a little less desirable, doesn't look as fancy on my store, but it's maximizing my profit. So I sold it off straight away, got my money back. In fact, I think I made a little bit of profit because I did get them for a decent price. But I learned, okay, let me just take the quick profit, a small profit, get rid of them, rather than dragging it out over like 3-4 months and making a slightly larger profit margin, but it taking months to sell. And in the end, I put my money into something else, got a big pre-order through with Vintage Wholesale Supply, and I made far more money and sold it far quicker. I think I did like a couple live streams that week with my friends from up north, and I made my money back on the delivery within the first 4 streams. I think the delivery cost, I think I got a couple of Nike or North Face bales, and within like 3 or 4 streams, I'd make my initial investment back already. That's what you want. You want quick turnaround time, good profit margins, and again, something that you do enjoy selling. I'm not saying sell, like I'm not going to sell women's Y2K clothes because I have no interest in it, but at the same time, I'm not going to sell Nike hoodies and stussy joggers because I love wearing them if they're not going to make me any profit. So it's definitely something to think about. But obviously don't prioritize your profit too much to the point where you start to lose enjoyment in it. But at the same time, is if you're making money and if your business is growing, you're going to enjoy it. So I think just to summarize that is focus on what makes the most amount of money, requires the least amount of effort, the least amount of time, and generates the most profit. I think that's just a summary for that. We'll move on to scaling, the scaling side of things. When you scale, you're going to need a larger space. You're going to have to move out maybe into a unit or a warehouse or even like a spare room or a studio, an office. I don't know what it is. But again, that's one thing, is don't limit yourself. Is I never thought my first unit or my first space would be my nan's spare bedroom. And I was in there for a good amount of time. Again, I was patient. I wanted to move out, but I realized, no, let me just maximize this space. I'll try to find some photos of that spare room. I had 3 rails in there to start with. I thought, oh my gosh, like I'm growing too fast. Like I need a new space soon. I think I ended up moving out with 3 double rails and 4 single rails in this like tiny, like 30-foot unit, no bigger than, I don't know, 3 of these sofas. Like, it's ridiculous how small that room was. I don't think you could even fit 3 of these sofas in the room, to be honest with you. It's not rushing into decisions like that into warehouses. I mean, I was looking at units for months and months and they were just too expensive. It was just pointless me even looking at them. I convinced myself I could afford it and it was a good decision, and then I realized, well, no, it's probably not, because I knew that when I actually started to take it seriously and started to view units, I was like, no, I can't even afford this. Why am I looking? I just maximized the space that I had to the point of, okay, if I'm paying, say, 100 quid for this room, and I'm making £2,000 a month, I want to move out into a unit that's 500 quid a month, or I wait a little bit more. If I'm able to squeeze £3,000-4,000 worth of stock or extra stock or whatever it is, or generate a little bit more money a month because I'm able to fit more stock in, just cram it in, even if you have to adjust things. I mean, my friend Josh is a perfect example. His unit is so much smaller than mine, yet he's got 3 or 4 times more stock than I have. His inventory management is incredible. The way he just, I mean, it's not necessarily the tidiest thing in the world, the most organized thing in the world, but he knows exactly where everything is. It's all safely clean and packed nicely into boxes. Yeah, it was a blessing to get to the unit I'm in now, and obviously I did need it. And I mean, even looking now, is I thought it was too big for me, but I mean, I've hardly got any space in here at the moment because of deliveries coming in. I've got one of my cars in here. Obviously, I've just built an office now as well, a bit more space. I've got a little social space for content creation, kitchen, and then obviously a lot of rails as well, because I store everything on rails. That's just preference, but I had to heavily consider, okay, can I afford this? I wrote down all my incomes, outgoings, and really consider if I could afford it or not. And yeah, that's my first unit. Again, I don't know how it came about, honestly. Yeah, simply doing a pop-up in my local town centre, and then the woman who ran the indoor market saying, oh, we've got like a upstairs area where there's a few units there if you want it. And again, the price that I got it for was insane. You'd be stupid not to take it for that price. So again, I was just patient. I just waited for the right opportunity to come up. And the units I was looking at, £500 a month for the cheapest, most basic office space I could get. And then coming across this room, it was like 80 quid a month or something like that. It was 80 quid a month, £20 a week for this 400 square foot unit. Obviously, it was limited hours. But again, I didn't pay electricity. And after 6 months, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to move out. I've got no space. Because when I had deliveries in, the boxes took up so much space. But then once I got it all washed, all hung up, I had so much space again. It was like, well, now I'm able to take my business up to like maybe 1,100 items in stock, 1,200 items in stock. Whereas 6 months ago, I was saying I need to move out and I only had 500 items in stock. That's another reason why I did actually need this space, because then I had that unit and then I needed more space, and I looked at 4 or 5 units. They were all too expensive, or they just were too small. Because again, I saw one for 1,000 square foot, but 400 square foot of that was kitchen, office, and what was it? The kitchen, office, and toilet space, which I don't need. So the unit was actually only about 500 square foot, which is not much bigger than what I had. Where I'm at now is just perfect for me. So yeah, it's just being patient and just waiting. Obviously, if you are very, very desperate to move out, like what's the worst going to happen? Your room's not going to explode because you've got too many items in there or too much stock. Even if you have to stack, it's going to get uncomfortable. It will get uncomfortable. I couldn't even move in my nan's spare bedroom. I had to climb under one rail to get to the back rail in order to pack my items, but it was so worth the wait. So I hope that's helped you guys. And yeah, that's just a snippet of like what I said earlier about community and space that we're launching for resellers and those who want to get into reselling. You might be watching this video and you've never even sold an item before, but you want to, or you've never even thought about it until this video. I hope I've encouraged you or like changed your mindset slightly this video. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this video. If there's anything you do want to see or any questions you have, I'm looking at doing a Q&A. I've just got that on my next YouTube video list, is a Q&A. So if there's any questions you have, please put them in the comments and I'll answer them in the next video. And yeah, I appreciate you all watching this video. Please like and subscribe. It'd be much appreciated.